What is up, guys? Abixis here, coming in with another Overwatch tier list. This time, Overwatch 2 Tier List Edition 1. I wanted to get a bit more time in the game before making this, so it is a day late, but I'd rather get more accurate feelings than rush into this too fast. Without further ado, let's get right into this one. Starting with the lower side of the tier list, I'm actually not going to put anyone in F. Nobody to me stands out as completely unplayable. However, there are some heroes that I do feel are a bit weak right now. We're going to start with D tier, and that's Junkrat. I don't find Junkrat to be really that great right now. I don't know if it's because he felt a lot stronger in the double shield meta we were previously in, but something is definitely not feeling right with Junkrat. He doesn't feel like you are at an advantage picking him over virtually anyone else in the DPS roster. He's not an instant lose pick, but you're definitely going to be seeing other options that are far, far stronger at the current moment. Another one that I'm going to put in D tier, actually, we'll go in low C tier, is Cassidy. I'm not a huge fan of him right now. Like a he doesn't feel like there's really a need to pick him. You're going to either pick Ashe, Soldier, or a couple of the different hit scans that will do his job a little bit better. The removal of the stun, it really has hurt him, I feel like, and kind of taken away a little bit of his identity and some of his strength over the others. I feel like this will be perhaps a little better over time once we get used to the way he is, but as of right now, I don't find him really that strong. C tier as well will be Bastion. I feel like Bastion is in a much better spot. The current rework puts him in a good state, is to the point where they can actually fix him numerically, maybe add damage, change things like that. He's in a much better spot than I felt he was in the first game. The rework so far feels a lot better, a lot less frustrating to play against for low elo players, but I don't feel like he's truly found his niche yet. He feels like a weird pick, and I just think there are better options. I don't think he's terrible, but he's definitely not great right now. Hanzo, this one hurts a little bit to put in C because he's been strong for a while, but I don't find Hanzo adjusting super well to the new game speed. This is very early in the game, guys, so these things can change. This might just be players adapting and learning to play these characters in a different way, but Hanzo has seen a little bit of a struggle, I feel like, adapting to the new game speed, the way tanks are now, and a lot of the new changes. It just seems like it hasn't helped him as much as it's helped some of his counterparts. C tier as well, I'm gonna put Junker Queen. I don't think she is bad. I just think, again, it's very early. People are learning how to play her. I haven't seen her stand out or show me a reason why she is a must pick. I guarantee she'll be getting a lot of balance changes as the game goes on. We haven't seen much of her, so they haven't really had time to work out the kinks and details. So she's going to be in C for now, but I could definitely see her going up. Her kit is pretty solid. I just think they need to change a few things to get her into a much better spot. Mercy, C tier. If you're running her in a pocket, she's still good. I just find if you're not pocketing with her, she tends to get a little less value than others. Again, C tier, these characters aren't horrible. There's just better options. Pocketing the Pharah, pocketing an Ashe actually seems to be, honestly, maybe the best pocket right now, in my opinion. A little bit biased there, but Mercy's just okay. She doesn't feel like she's terrible or, great. Pharah also is going to go in the C. I can't really put a finger on why Pharah feels a little bit worse in the Overwatch 2 meta. Definitely playable, especially with a pocket, but it's just not, something is a bit different. We're gonna have to figure that out over time to see what's causing her to feel a little bit weaker than she did. Maybe it is the tank changes, maybe it is something else. Again, I'd like a little more time to get more detail on that, but for right now I feel pretty comfortable putting her in the C tier. So let's go to B. This is where majority of the characters are going to lie. Starting with Moira. Moira feels solid, still good damage, still one of the healers that you could play if you're not particularly great at healer. Not saying if you play Moira you're bad, but she is a little bit more accessible to somebody if you were to get filled into healer and you're a damage player. She can be a little bit easier to play. I think that allows her to get a lot of innate value, but her peak and ceiling is not as high as some people that I'm going to put above her. Actually, going back to C for a second, I'm going to put Mei in C. I've seen virtually no Mei, so I had to try her myself to get a read on her, and I'm not feeling it. I really didn't understand why the changes that were made feel so drastic. I understand that it is a slightly different version of Mei, but I did not see her being as weak as she currently feels. Not also the best Mei player, so I might be a little bit biased here. Again, this is just my opinion, but I'm going to be putting Mei in C for now. Symmetra. Symmetra is going to be a B tier. Really hasn't changed too much. The meta hasn't really hurt or helped her. Um, Obviously, 2 CP maps are gone, so some of the weird teleporter strats are gone. As a base character, though, she feels about the same as she did. Zenyatta, gonna put him in B. Don't feel like Zen has gotten completely obliterated by the new changes like a lot of people thought he would, but he definitely doesn't feel like the instant carry healer, especially not compared to the one we're going to be talking about in the S tier. But still an okay pick. Can't really go wrong with him, but he also not going to be your best choice. Torbjorn, B tier. Don't mind Torbjorn right now. Don't love Torbjorn right now. Every time I see Torb or play as Torbjorn, he feels like okay, this is working, but at the same time, this could be I could be picking somebody better. That's really what the B tier is. These are characters that if you are a main of Torbjorn or a main of Zenyatta or anybody in here, you're gonna be fine. You could play these characters. Just feel like there are some people that are getting a little bit more advantage from the new passives and everything. Continuing on with the B tier, I was debating on not putting this character in B, but I'm gonna go with Widowmaker. I feel like if you're a really good Widow, which is something we have to consider here, is as long as you're good at the hero, that's how I'm gonna be ranking this. If you're good at Widowmaker, you could still make her work. Although some characters are going to be a bit of a problem to deal with. The good thing is double dive is no longer going to be a thing with at least 2 tanks diving you. You're not going to see a Diva and a Winston flying at you. So if you're a good Widowmaker, you can easily make her work. Again, there are better options. I've probably said that about 50 times. Reaper, B, solid pick. Still shreds tanks, although there aren't 2 tanks. So you're losing a tiny bit of advantage there, but still actually feels quite strong. A lot better than what I expect him to be, especially on low elo. Picking Reaper is always a safe bet, easy to play, easy to get value out of, but if you want to master him, get better at flicking up close, you'll get a lot of value out of him. Doomfist, I'm actually, you know what, I'm going to put Doom in the C. Doom's potential seems to be pretty high. Might be the fact that he switched roles and feels a bit different, that people are still getting used to the way he is right now. But I just don't see a lot of value coming out of Doomfist. I think the potential is there, but as of the current point, I'm going to put him in C. If I make a mid-patch update, I might put him in B. I'm flip-flopping between the two, but I think I'm going to put him in C for right now. Wrecking Ball is the one I struggled with the most because I don't see how he's going to fit because a good Wrecking Ball player, which I've seen a few and I've played a decent amount of him, a good Wrecking Ball player could still get a lot of value, but I don't. With the single tank setup, it is a bit of a hard sell on picking Wrecking Ball, and you're going to piss a lot of your teammates off, which I guess it's not exactly on the character, but that is a factor that he's not. The disrupting the backline and the things that Ball used to do in Overwatch 1 are a lot different in the current setup. I'm going to give him a B. I'm reluctant on that one. I'm thinking about moving him down, but I'm going to give him that for now and see where that gets me. Now we're going to get a little bit less organized here. I'm just going to start grabbing characters and talking about them really quick. Lucio, I'm putting Lucio in the A. I think Lucio is actually really damn good. The new game speed, the game feels a lot quicker, especially on certain maps. Lucio has adapted magnificently. I think he feels really, really good with the current setup. He does well with all the characters that are meta right now. I don't have very many complaints about Lucio. The only thing that stopped me from putting him in the S is he doesn't feel like he has that must-pick mentality, but picking Lucio, you're not going to go wrong with that right now. Ashe, I'm going to put Ashe in the B tier. Ashe feels strong. Pocket Ashe feels extremely strong. Again, there's some better options that you're going to be a little bit better off with than Ashe. Sojourn, where's Sojourn? There you are. A tier for Sojourn. She feels really good right now. Although a bit hard to play and a bit weird. If you're really bad at Sojourn, you're going to get very little value out of her. If you can be accurate with the right click, you could actually really take over a game with Sojourn. I've seen some elite Sojourn play already. Some people seem to have mastered her to a ridiculous degree, and these people are absolutely annihilating everyone. I don't feel like she's broken, but extremely high potential. Tracer feels about as good as she always does. Slightly weaker because of the slight nerf to the damage, but being is that she fits the new gameplay style very well, I feel like she's a solid A tier pick. You can't really go wrong with her. Baptiste. Baptiste is going to go B. I really feel like Baptiste is still really good. People have kind of oversold that he's fallen off because he was so good for so long. I mean, I think I put Bap in S tier for every single tier list leading up to this one. He feels a little bit weaker, doesn't feel broken or must pickish anymore, but he still has a solid place. Zarya is going in A. The new changes to Zarya are extremely well done. I really felt like she was going to be by far the weakest tank in the game when they announced the single tank changes. I was reacting pretty harshly on how bad Zarya was going to be, and I was wrong. I'm straight up going to say I was completely wrong. She seems very strong. If you're a good Zarya player, don't worry, you could still play Zarya. That has not changed. Erisa is going in A. New Erisa changes. Maybe I'm a little biased because it's super fun to play Erisa right now, but she feels like she can be very oppressive, especially if you have healers that are competent at keeping you up. You can be a straight up beacon of hope in your team, pushing forward, leading that charge. Erisa's new rework is probably one of my favorites, and something that I look forward to is them doing more reworks like that. Brigida, you know, Brig's gonna go in high B. I'm debating on the A, but she does feel a little bit different. She fits the new style very well. She keeps up with the game pace very well. There's really nothing wrong with picking Brig, but I'd like to get a little bit more time with her before I give her an A. You're definitely not gonna go wrong picking Brig, but there's better options, slightly better options. Soldier's gonna get an A. I feel like Soldier has been good. He's literally the quintessential just damage character. He's almost never really terrible. Picking soldier, unless I mean, used to be trolling if you picked a soldier into Doomfist, but Doomfist is a tank now. There's not as many hard counters to soldiers as there used to be. But if you feel like you're doing poorly, switch to somebody else. For the most part, I don't think picking soldier is really gonna be a bad thing. Echo, putting Echo in A. Echo is a weird one because I had Echo in S many times. The changes are definitely on paper. It looked like they were going to gut her. Again, I tended to overreact to changes like that, assume the worst. But the Echo changes, she still feels like a very pickable hero. And if you're really good at Echo, still has one of the highest potential ceilings. And I just don't feel like you can get away with picking her as much anymore if you're terrible at her. But if you're good, you're going to be just fine. Sigma. Mm, Sigma's going to go. Sigma's going to go in A as well. I like Sigma. I really like the way he feels right now. I kind of thought he would be the best tank in the game. Was wrong on that one, but I still think he's really good. He kind of fits the do all category. He has damage. He has a shield. He's kind of got a little bit of everything, and you're not going to go wrong picking Sigma. Anna. Anna's going to go in A, high B or A. She feels like sometimes she can get a little bit walked over with the dive meta, but the anti is still big. Sleep is still big. With a lot of the CC removed, Sleep is still a big ability because she is one of the few characters that got to keep all of her strong abilities. Big Nano can turn the tide of the game. Lots of good things about Anna. I am going to go with Roadhog in A as well. I think Roadhog feels awesome. Now, I don't know how he feels extremely high tier right now because I'm still placing, so I'm not sure where the hell the game's going to put me. That's a bit of a tough thing with making an early game tier list, and a lot of people have been saying they've been placed extremely low after doing the new soft MMR reset. As of right now, Hog feels pretty strong. Again, he's one that I thought would be really weak, so I'm glad to see that he is holding on very well. Let's start with the first S tier here. It's Diva. Diva feels absolutely fantastic. One of the best picks right now. If you are good with Defense Matrix and you are well versed in Diva play, then you already know this, but she can actually be an extremely strong defensive or offensive tank. High skill cap when it comes to using her at the highest level, but if you know how to play her, you are going to have a great time with her. She feels awesome. Along with Winston. Wow, Winston feels great right now. I cannot complain about Winston in almost any way. He feels in a much better spot than I had him before. The dive tanks are doing extremely well. Sombra, DPSS, Sombra, my God, Sombra fans, I am so happy for you guys because she feels awesome. The rework, I looked at a lot of those little changes and I said, this is going to make Sombra way more interactive to play. More interactive to play, less annoying to play against. Great redesign by Blizzard on this one, and she feels extremely strong. I'm very happy for the Sombra fans that have been waiting for something like this. If you don't like it, let me know. But I'm happy for Sombra fans truly. S tier, Kiriko. That seems to be like the general consensus. I haven't seen anybody put her below S tier. She feels a little bit I mean, do all character, and I can't really find much to complain about, honestly. I don't I got nothing to say on Kiriko other than that she's extremely strong right now. S tier may come as a surprise, but I am putting Genji in the S tier. I feel like Genji has adapted amazingly to the Overwatch 2 changes. The new passive and everything work amazing for Genji. And if you are good at Genji, I mean, I am terrible at Genji and I was still going ballistic with him. So if you are a Genji god, I am so sorry for anyone who has to play against you because you are going to dominate your lobbies, guys. Last one, Reinhard. I'm not sure why I saved Reinhard for last because he is going to go in the B. Thought he might be kind of weak, but he actually has adapted a little bit better than I thought he would. I really felt like Reinhardt wasn't going to change with the Overwatch 2 style. Felt like people were going to run circles around him, but the small changes that they made, I think, were very advantageous to him. And Reinhardt means you don't got to be too worried. There are tanks that are stronger, but you can still pick your boy. He's gonna be good. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Keep in mind this is a very, very early tier list. So I didn't have a ton to say on certain characters. This will obviously drastically change over the course of even a couple weeks, maybe a month. So I'll probably make one mid-season and see how everybody feels, where I want to move people to. Also, go check out some other ones. I know Samito made one, and a couple of the bigger YouTubers. They obviously have some too. So get some different opinions. See if and obviously make your own choices. This is just mine. Some other guys are going to feel a different way. You're going to feel a different way. And if something feels good to you, then just play it. And for the most part, just enjoy the game, guys. If you can, if you can get through the queue times, enjoy the game. Overwatch 2 is finally here. Be excited about it if you want to be excited. Don't let anyone ruin it for you. And other than that, have a great day and go try out some of the hero reworks. See you guys later.